At the Southern Exposure Trade Show, produce is king. The event features the latest trends in the produce industry, including the Food Marketing Institute's Power of Produce survey. SoutheastProduceWeekly.com's Chip Carter shares what the new partnership between FMI and the Southeast Produce Council means for the future of the industry.
Convention Center, where we've just heard the results of the 2018 Power of Produce report from the Washington, D.C. based Food Marketing Institute. Rick Stein is the Vice President of FMI. And Rick, this is the beginning of a new partnership between Southeast Produce Council and FMI. Tell us how that all came together.
So we've been putting out this research for a couple years, and we talked to the SEPC, and we thought it was just perfect for this conference. For Southern Exposure, there's so many produce folks here, both from the retail side and the supplier side. So David Sherrod and myself kind of shook hands and said this would be a great launching point every year for this great research that both the suppliers and the retailers are hungry for the information. Everyone wants to know what the consumer's doing.
Anne-Marie, there's a lot of data in this report, and you are kind of the person who's responsible for pulling it all together and analyzing what it all means. How big of a process is that, and how do you go about it?
It is a giant process, so it takes a true research geek to really take it all together. But as I always say, the power of produce is that it's done by the industry for the industry. And so before we even get to designing the questionnaire, we really reach out to every single element and every single party of the produce supply chain. And it's really to understand, what is out there, what is new, what is a blip on the radar today, but we need to start asking about.
I think one of the best things we learned in this research is that we call it the eyes decide. And when consumers come into the produce department, there's lots of reasons they come. They may read the ad and there's a particular item at a really good price. And so everyone said, well, price is what drives it, but that's not the case. Once they walk in the store, price goes out the window. Now they're looking at the actual product. And when the product presents itself as fresh and appealing, the consumer purchases. Not only do they purchase that item, but they'll buy incrementally. They'll shop the rest of the department because it's so eye-catching and eye-appealing.
What do you see as the future of brick and mortar? There's been a lot of speculation with Amazon and Whole Foods getting in the game, and we've seen the value pricers like Lidl come into the U.S. market. For a while there, we were all running around throwing our hands up in the air going, we don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. A few months later, what's that shakeout been like?
Well, I want to thank Amazon. They kind of gave everybody the answer, didn't they? Both are going to exist. They bought a brick and mortar because they understand there's a consumer that wants to have that experiential that they can't get online.
Last year when Amazon bought Whole Foods, people were thinking, well, retail stores are just going to close left and right. That certainly has not happened.
No, it hasn't happened at all. There's a lot of thoughts about that. At the end of the day, it's our competitive base continues to broaden in many different channels. Brick and mortar, digital. We just have to be prepared for anything and everything and play well against it.
One thing the 2018 Power of Produce report makes clear is that the business of selling groceries is changing, not necessarily in ways people thought it might. It is evolving, but it's clear your good old brick and mortar store is still going to be there on the corner for you when you need it. In Tampa, Florida, I'm Chip Carter from SoutheastProduceWeekly.com, reporting for RFD-TV.
Thank you, Chip. And next year's Southern Exposure will take place in Orlando, Florida. We'll have more of Chip's reports throughout the week, and don't forget to log on to SoutheastProduceWeekly.com for the latest produce news. And stay with us. Meteorologist Tim Ross has your forecast right after this.